I think this would be called the clap trap and the trap clap back or something like that. Maybe you can get some kind of life lesson out of it. I'm still working on it. So there's this girl I knew around high school. I say around high school because I moved around a bunch, and most of my junior year was an alternative school, and I didn't go to my senior year, but I still graduated even though I was on the streets in the same year I was supposed to graduate. So that tells you something. Nobody in my whole family, not my brother, my sister, or my mother, ever graduated high school, technically. But whatever. Spirit leads, I guess. Or when we set a goal for ourselves and we carry it out. Anyway, there's this girl of my dreams. She everything about her. She was so good with the kids, and she babysat a lot. And she'd always just come up with these songs, or I don't know where she got them from. Uh, and it's just so cute. I could just imagine her. Now I can imagine her as, damn, that I want my daughter to be like that. Damn, I want my wife to be like that. Damn, I want my girlfriend to be like that. Yes and no, right? And we had this mutual friend that sometimes would kind of, but she had a crush on me too. And I never got with her. I was never interested in her, but she would always, because of the way shit works out, right, would kind of play the go between or whatever. And weirdly enough, I lived with that one for a couple weeks or whatever in a certain situation. Well, so this girl's name was Brandy, and it was just something about her. Everything I wanted. And though I'd be writing poems all the time, I wrote some poems about her or whatever. And when it came to it, I, I don't know, I didn't have the guts. And even when I did have the guts, then she would always back off. She'd be like, I'm seeing Brandon again. She was off and on with this guy named Brandon, who was a musician, fucking for the the school high school talent show. He got up there and played "Testify" by Rage Against the Machine. Just like the dream guy, kind of. The badass. And he even ended up in my 20s. I ended up weirdly enough becoming friends with him and moved back to a place. And that's like the full circle of the story. I guess we'll get there. So he's in this band named Cage. He's a cool guy. His name's Brandon. We'll just leave the last names out, for what it's worth. So Brandy was everything somehow. And right before I moved away, one of the times it was my birthday, and I always have bad birthdays. But her and our mutual friend came over, and she brought me a cake, and I can't remember. I think like we went in my bedroom, and I think I got to kiss her for the first time for a few minutes, and then I moved the next day. And so that like was something that hung on for like the next 8 years. She would come up in sometimes in conversations about talking with my girlfriend, and that shit doesn't ever go right. They're like, well, why don't you go back to Brandy then? Why are you bringing up Brandy? It's stupid, right? But almost everybody has learned from that kind of experience, or not. It's mere to make the point, right? And I'd moved back there. I moved back to Spearfish a couple times. And then I'd always hope I could run into Brandy and we could start our relationship, you know? But then it was something that would pull apart on the relationships that I had separately, even if it wasn't. And it didn't work out on either end, right? You gotta move back to Spearfish another time. I probably lived there like 8, 10 times, kind of like here in Alva. And so every time you move back, you see all the same people, but it's all different, but it's all the same. But mainly, I'm totally different, but nobody ever really knew me anyway. So what the fuck difference does it make? Um, and then we'd go on some dates or whatever, but it never got more serious than like that kiss on my birthday. I guess that attraction was repulsion because it's just too much. I don't know. It's too early. And we even worked at the same place in another town, and I'd ride to work with her every day, and we'd wait tables together. And I think even her mom or her mom's girlfriend, because her mother became a lesbian, and so then she had two moms, whatever. Like, I think it's cool how fluid and things can change like that, you know. And so then I worked with her and her other mom, waiting tables and everything. Another time moved there, and then moved away, and then finally I moved back. This one time I go to meet up with her, and here's the fucking bullshit about fate, right? 651. It can be, but maybe it's all for the right reasons. Come back, and got her to go on a date, or we hung out for a little bit, and then I only lived like around the corner from her mom's house, like 4 or 5 trailers away suddenly. So we were right there. We could just hit it off, start building a life together, living just a block apart. But I'm staying at my friend's house, and I'm starting fresh, and having to walk to work at McDonald's, and she's at her mom's house or whatever. And lo and behold, when it's going to be perfect, what happens? She's like, Josh, I've always really loved you. I'm like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she's like, and I, I'd really want to be with you right now. Except about a month ago, I went to this party and got too drunk and slept with this guy, and I'm pregnant. See, you're trying to run away from one situation to get me to fucking pick up all the fucking baggage I've been thinking about you for 8 motherfucking years. And then you show up and you're like, well, you can have me as long as you take care of everything. Because I'm trying to run away from myself now, but I can't get away from this baby. What the fuck? No hard feelings. I fucking hate life, right? And me being the best guy in the worst way, or the worst guy in the best way, I don't know. Since I ain't got no fucking stability, I just fucking moved there because I try to get shit together again for the 100th millionth time. Life just keeps taking everything from me, and I give it all, and everybody just is all good anyway. They didn't need me in the first place. Until they got a problem that I could solve it all for them, but they'll just throw me away just like the guy, at the party, and then have somebody to blame. Something better comes along. I'm like, well, I know it's like growing up without my dad, and I think you should try to work it out with him. It gave her a karma. Damn, that hurts no matter what. So she ended up, she said he's a big jerk. She hates him. He's whatever, this and that. Yeah, is that what drew her to sleep with him all of a sudden? Unprotected, and he just took the girl of my dreams. And I'm the guy of her dreams, and she couldn't come to me unless it was this. What the fuck? So then she married him, had 3 or 4 girls that are just like her. They're so adorable. They're amazing. They're just like her. They're the best. And I'm not jealous, but a little bit. You know, that's terrible. And then a few months, 6 months later, then I moved to Deadwood and become good friends with a bunch of musicians. One's got a studio in his house, a 4-track or whatever to record. He's got a drum set, got guitars and shit. You know, he's got it all, but he's living under his dad in the system under welfare, and he can only work a couple hours a day because or a week because to make extra money. Plus his dad's providing the house, plus disabilities providing for him. He's got every fucking thing, and he ain't got nothing. As a cool guy. And then one of the guys that comes over, another fucking cool guy, one of the best guitar players I've ever met. He ain't going nowhere with that shit either. And then Brandon, the one that kept my girl away from me the whole fucking time up until she slept with the other guy and got pregnant. He'd come over, and he's a singer or whatever and plays guitar too. He has his own fucking band, and they'd play a show in the next town every so often, you know, once a month or whatever. But then he'd come over and practice with all these guys, even though he's got his own fucking band and his own songs. And he ain't got nothing either. I don't think he got famous for his band. So, and one of the times that I had a guitar, I borrowed it from him. And as soon as I was getting into it and learning shit, and it was going well, then he just came by one day. He's like, "Hey, I got this girl I'm trying to fuck. Can I get that guitar back so I can loan it to her?" Bro. So music still has kind of been a pull and off-putting to me. And women have always kind of been a pull and off-putting to me. Love and kids and all that shit. So there's that. The clap trap. Clap. Back.